Good morning everyone and welcome to this video on my Red Sea Reefer 170. I've had this here for about 6 months but only up and running for about 2 months, and I just wanted to show you what I've done with it. It is awesome and I do absolutely love it. So as you can see from inside the tank, I have CaribSea live sand. It's sugar fine, but it has some bigger chunks in there as well. The rock, I bought dry live rock from bulk reef supply, and I did buy the what do you call the kind that is the Reef Saver. There it is, Reef Saver. I bought way too much. It took me forever to get this set up, and it doesn't look very amazing at all, but I actually like it quite a bit. Yeah, I think it's really important as hobbyists to preserve our reefs, and if that means getting some rock that's Reef Saver, that's not directly pulled from a reef, I'm all for that, absolutely. So if we go up here to the top, I'll show you what I've done. So starting over here with my light, I've gone with the Radion's, the XR15 Pro. I love it. I have it set for 55% right now. And I have it set at with a lot of blues in there. Pretty much I have the blues on all the time, and then throughout the day I go ahead and add in the greens and the reds and whatnot, just to kind of make it not quite so blue for the apartment. I'm using the RMS mount, which is awesome. It fits perfectly over this tank. The reason I went with this and not the XR30 is just price, honestly. If you look here in the back, I have both my heaters. I have Eheim Jager's going in here on the left side, and on the right side I have my dosing, my calcium, and my alkalinity. As for the fish, I have two Ocellaris clowns that I introduced at the same time. I chose a larger one and a smaller one, just so that they could hopefully get along, and they do. They've been in here for a couple months now. Big one's Lucille, small one's Benny. They seem quite happy and are just waiting for an anemone, I think. I also bought some snails recently. I bought 10 Trochus snails and 5 Ceriths, and they seem to be doing quite well. As for my pump, so you can see I have a Vortec NP10, and that is going quite well. Okay, if we move over here, I created a little sideboard to kind of mount everything on the side and to kind of hide the wires. So I have the Vortec MP10. I have it set up for kind of, I forget what the mode is, but it's where it goes from small to large throughout the day, so it has some calmer periods and then some detritus pickup periods. I also have it set for night mode, I think starting at 9 p.m. and then it goes up to 50% power for 10 hours. Next to that, you can see I have dosing pump. I have 2 dosing pumps, one for calcium, one for alkalinity. And then I have the Neptune Apex controller, which is absolutely amazing. Best purchase I've ever made for so many reasons, even though it is expensive. Down below you can see the Apex controller here. Right now I just have my pH set up, and then my EB8 down below here. By the way, I got the dosing pumps from Bulk Reef Supply. They're awesome. They say 1.1 milliliters per minute, but mine run at 2 milliliters per minute, which is fine. I just have them set up with my EB8 down here. So you can see I have everything labeled. It's not exactly the most pretty, but the EB8 is fantastic, and I did put on the side here is where I have both of my dosing pumps, because these two outlets are better for very, very low or very, very high wattage things. Eventually I'll have to get another one, another EB8, but for now I have pretty much everything that I need on here. All right, let's take a peek inside. I do absolutely love the sump as well, but it's a little bit small, but that's obviously the size of tank that I bought. So let me kind of show you around here. I have, I guess we'll start here with the Skimmer AquaC EV120. Not a super popular one, but I really like it because it uses a Venturi type air intake to produce the bubbles, which you can see kind of right back here. And I like that because there's no sort of pinwheel in there to get clogged up. it does work pretty well. I have a pretty low bio load, so it's not producing a lot right now, but it's pretty awesome. Over here, I have the RODI top off, 1.5 gallons. You can see right here, I have a Sicce Syncra Silent 3.0, 714 gallons. I do like to put in a little bit more power, even though the AquaC EV is rated for about a 550 gallon per hour. I find the 714 gallon per hour produces much better skim. Over here, I just put a little sponge to kind of help with the micro bubbles, and then I have some Kato down here. And I just went to Goodwill and bought a super cheap light, and I have a strong bulb in there, which is attached to the side. I have it set to run for 18 hours a day and off for 6 hours, and that's just programmed pretty easily to go the opposite time as my lights on my tank to kind of help keep my pH up. I live in an apartment with a wife and 2 kids, and we produce a lot of carbon dioxide, so my pH usually runs 7.9 to 8, somewhere around there, which is fine. Up here is my mini reactor from Bulk Reef Supply. I have the ROX carbon, which is amazing. I'm kind of anal about it. I change it probably every week, which you absolutely do not need to do, but I do, and it keeps my water looking very clear, which I love. I built this cheapo PVC piece here with a mag crate on top to kind of hold my pumps as I go along. I also just put in a super cheap LED light just to kind of light everything up back here. If you take a peek going on, let's see over here, I have my pH probe, I have my temperature probe in the back, and then all the way down here you can kind of see this is the return line right here, and I have another Sicce Syncra 3.0, which seems to be just right about the right speed. You can see the float valve, and you can also see my MJ1200, which is powering my carbon reactor. Yeah, that's about it. Hit me up if you have any questions. I would be happy to show you a lot more of what I'm doing. I'm really hoping to add in an anemone in the next few months. I'm right now really working on getting my dosing down perfectly so I can keep my calcium and alkalinity super steady, and it's taken me a while to really keep my pH steady, but I think I'm finally where I need to with adding an air intake line to my skimmer from another room, which brings in more fresh air, with dosing my alkalinity at very short intervals throughout the night with the soda ash that keeps things higher. So yeah, my next step will be adding an anemone, but I don't want to do it until I'm absolutely certain that it will have success. Anyway, I hope everybody's well. Take care.